Back to your personal bank show with president and founder of Secure Estate Management, Ferenc Toth.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It is the My Personal Bank program. Your host, Ferenc Toth. I'm happy to be sitting in and hanging out with him today. We're going to learn a lot. Ferenc, before we jump into more about My Personal Bank or your personal bank, let's talk a little bit about you. You got years and years of experience.
Yes, I do, Jason. I actually started in the financial world, about 22 years ago, primarily in the annuity world, the fixed and then the fixed index annuity world. I was actually one of the top 10 producers in the nation several years in a row in that arena. I became the manager of the company, and then actually in 2003, the owner of the company was killed tragically in an airplane crash.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
It was. I was his number one guy, the manager of the company and all that. So it was definitely a transition period. Did attempt to buy the actual company, which is no longer around in Arizona at least, and decided to start our own company, Secure Estate Management. Following a lot of the same process, we did the lunch and dinner seminars. We did, all those good, fun things for years. And about 7 years ago, I was introduced to this personal bank concept, which changed our lives personally. I said in the previous segment that, with the real estate, we took a real hit in 08, 09. We were recovering from that. Thankfully, our business even took somewhat of a hit because the whole financial industry did, of course. The real estate just blew up.
Right.
Flat out.
Yep.
So, I always tell people, look, if you've never done, if you tell people you've done everything perfect your whole life, you've either never done anything or you're lying.
Yes, sir. I can appreciate that. That is well said.
So a lot of the things that I'm sharing with are from personal experience, learning the hard way, the school of hard knocks, right?
Which is the best.
And by the way, even going back further, you mentioned I've actually owned. I'm a serial entrepreneur, if you will. Started with a retail business. I've owned a service company. I've started, I think, the bank that we're starting now is our fourth startup now in my career, so 30 years plus. I'm just an entrepreneur at heart. What can I say? And so when I was introduced, yes, I own a financial company and a financial guy. A lot of people know me, but I'm really a heart entrepreneur. And when I was introduced to this banking concept, I immediately saw the potential of how it could enhance businesses, creating its own credit facility. It was like a stroke of lightning to me. I was like, oh my gosh. Like most businesses, in my case, they have seasons.
Right.
We have slow periods, we have busy periods. And like most companies, I had a line of credit and would borrow money during those slow periods to cover, expenses and such, and then pay it back, during the busier times. And when I come to realize how much interest I was paying and how much it was costing the business, the bottom line. And when I realized I could fund my own account where I'd have access to funds and still earn interest on it, which we'll get into further,
sure, how
that works. But the bottom line is I stopped paying interest and I started earning interest. Do you know what that did to the bottom line, Jason?
Oh, I can't imagine.
It immediately changed it. And then I learned another thing as we continued to build our personal bank and build cash reserves. The thing I've learned in my years of experience in businesses is access to capital is key, particularly in those times when you need it or when opportunities present themselves. And too many times I see people, and I've seen this for decades now with clients, where they have these investments, nothing against it, but there's so many rules or tax liabilities or penalties or any other various things that if you take it out of that account, you get slapped, right?
Right.
And so I was like, this doesn't work. This isn't real world. This isn't real life. We have need for money, particularly entrepreneurs.
Oh, yeah.
We just do. And so this personal bank, we created a credit facility for our business, and I found out something, and again, I'm going to attribute this to my wife again. Gosh, a couple of years ago, we were driving home one day, and she said something. She goes, we've had money, we've not had money. Okay, we've lived both sides of the coin. And she said, money doesn't make you happy. I'm a financial guy that tells people all the time, look, there's lots more things in life that are more important than money. Like she said, money doesn't make you happy, but when you have it, it sure reduces a lot of stress.
Oh, I totally agree with you. She is a smart lady. That is a fact.
Absolutely. So having ready access to capital without having a cost or penalty or loss of opportunity. If you take money out of an account, even if there's no tax or liability or, it's liquid,
right?
Yes, but if you take it, you have the lost opportunity cost.
Well, there's also lost opportunity when you're relying on the banks to get that loan to pursue that opportunity that's time sensitive. That's why I like what we're talking about with your personal bank. You control the cash.
One of the first things I tell people about is control. Control is key. Who really controls the money? And if you have access to those funds, okay, you have control. You don't have to go to somebody to qualify and ask questions and go through an approval process. I forget. I think it was Mark Twain that said a banker is one that'll give you an umbrella when it's it's sunny outside and take it away when it's raining.
That sounds about right.
In other words, a banker will give you money when you don't need it,
right?
But when you really do need it, sorry.
Yeah, then it's a little bit tougher.
Exactly. Which even brings me to one concept or thought I get asked all the time. Should I pay my house off? I love this one. And the answer really is, it depends. See, one of my other pet peeves in the financial industry, and I don't want to be negative to anyone, but when you get these people that are black and white and say you should pay off all debt, for example, we all know people that teach that, or this product is lousy, or this one's awesome. What you're getting is the perceived notion from that advisor or that person. Here's the deal. There's all types of financial products and tools out there. They're just tools, okay? They're neutral. They have a purpose, okay? They're designed for specific purposes. Now, Jason, what I see a lot is bad fits, round pegs and square holes. I see that all the time. So my point is, it's not the tool that's negative or a problem. It's not a good fit for you, okay? So I'm agnostic about that. There's all types of financial people asking, what's the tool? Don't confuse the tool with the concept, okay? Your personal bank, the tool can be anything. It could be a checking account, a money market, a CD, an annuity, a mutual fund, or any other financial tool that exists. But there's certain specific tools that work better than others. Analogy I give people all the time is real simple. Can you chop down a tree with an axe? Sure. Can you use a chainsaw? Of course. Which is more efficient? Again, it's that simple. What is the most efficient tool to do the job? And what I love about your personal bank is because you have control of the money, the control is the key. Now it opens up the opportunities for all types of people, business owners, investors, individuals, folks that want to supplement retirement, you name it. It works, college funding. I mean, all those different things. It works in all those different arenas because you have control. That's number one. Number two is tax favored. You know, we all want to pay less taxes. I mean, that's the American way, right? We want to do it legally, but we want to pay less in taxes. And there's various things out there, but the best way, if you structure this properly, what I mean by tax favored is much like a Roth. Roths are popular. And why are Roths popular? It's simple. Because you can grow tax-free. You can grow money in a Roth tax-free for the rest of your life, right? That's the rules, okay? Now, there's limits on how much you can put into a Roth. And I always say, look, if the IRS limits something, is it typically good for you or not? In other words, they limit it because it's a pretty good thing. Okay, so your personal bank has been referred to by a number of people as a super Roth. In other words, it grows tax-free while it's in the account. You can if you access it properly, you can access it tax-free. And oh, by the way, you can pass it along to your heirs tax-free. One of the only tools, financial tools that exist that has those three characteristics, which is again why the wealthy have been using this literally for centuries. The first known family to use this is somebody most of us know called the Rothschilds. They're considered the wealthiest family in the world. And I can give many, many other examples of famous people that are using this tool. But the reality is, why would a high net worth or high income person use a personal bank? Typically for the tax benefits. I always say, look, if you're an executive and you're in the top tax bracket and the company wants to give you a raise or a bonus, and depending on where you're at, state and federal could be anywhere upwards of 40% or above. Are you excited about that? Versus it structuring in a tax-free tool or tax-favored tool. What do you think that exec thinks about? Or that business owner or gosh, that retired, you name it, doesn't matter. So that's the second thing. The first one was, like I said, control. Who's in control of the money? Okay. And by the way, I kind of got off track with that a bit. I started to mention, should you pay your house off?
Right.
Let's go back to that for a minute. There's a lot of reasons why to pay off a house or not to pay a house off. There's a lot of psychological and personal and emotional reasons for doing that. Okay, so that's not a financial decision. That's an emotional decision. But from a financial standpoint, should you pay your house off? Should you pay extra payments on your house, like a lot of people try to do, to knock down the interest and pay off the mortgage quicker? Well, here's what I tell them. Don't. Why? Every month you give extra dollars to the lender, the bank. Who has more control of the dollars? You are the lender. The lender. As you give more and more of the dollars to them, they have more and more control of that pot of money. Okay? And if you get into a situation where you need money, you lose your job, have a disability, or something happens, what's your likelihood of getting the money then?
Exactly. That's the benefit of your personal bank, and we're going to talk more about it as we come up. If you want to learn more about this program, you can go to yourpersonalbank.com or call us at 866-515-6280. Ferenc Toth is your host. We're going to be on every Tuesday at noon right here on Money Radio 1510, 105.3 FM, or download the Money Radio Network app. We're going to be back with more after these messages. Stay with us.
For information on your personal bank, call Ferenc at 866-515-6280 or online at yourpersonalbank.com.